Welcome, pool guys and gals, to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast, where your host, Lauren Broom, will take a splash into many topics in the pool industry to educate all aquatic professionals. Listen in, and you just might be surprised what you'll learn. So let's jump right in.
Welcome, everybody, to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast today. And my special guest on episode 21 is David Hawes and Jennifer Farwell. They're going to be talking about the Pool and Spa Apprenticeship Academy. So let's learn more about professionalizing our industry with the first nationally approved Pool and Spa Apprenticeship. Welcome our guests, and I also want to say thank you to our sponsors of the podcast today, which are Skimmer and Wave Drowning Detection Systems. Please give them a round of applause for supporting further education through the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. And let's jump right into this episode after our brief moment with our first sponsor.
This is Skimmer, software for the modern pool professional. What can you do with Skimmer? See all your customers on a map, build service routes quickly, and let Skimmer optimize them for you. Access customer information, including contact details and full service history, anytime and anywhere. Customize work orders to track jobs like repairs and filter cleanings. Email your customers when you complete a service. You can include service details and on-site photos. Does your customer need a part? Add it to the shopping list and track it from purchase to installation. Skimmer will even remind you what parts you need for the day, and you can mark them as installed right when you're finished. Skimmer doesn't just store your service history, it helps you get paid. We integrate with QuickBooks Online for fast, easy invoicing. And we've got more billing options coming soon. All that's just the beginning. Go to getskimmer.com to watch our demo video, check out our online tutorials, and see if Skimmer is right for you.
Welcome, everybody, today to the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. And on my episode today, I have two wonderful, wonderful guests, David Hawes and Jennifer Farwell. David Hawes is the chairman and CEO of the Pool and Spa Apprenticeship and Training Committee. And Jennifer Farwell is the program director. Welcome, both of you. How are you?
Thank you. Doing wonderful. Thanks for having us, Lauren. It's great to be here.
No problem. Thank you so much. And we're going to talk about the apprenticeship program for the pool and spa industry that you guys started this year. Exciting stuff for the industry. It's so great to see an apprenticeship program, and it makes the industry professional. And we're giving that education that the industry deserves. Yeah. I full-heartedly believe in that part of it because so many other industries do have apprenticeship programs similar to what you guys have formed. And people view them as professionals in such a way that it's different than the pool industry. I think you guys feel that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, the three members of the committee, myself, Steve Homer, and Javier Payan, are all pool service people. We've recognized for a long time the need to have some avenue to train folks. And some of the feedback we've gotten from employers of our current class of apprentices has been, the things that you're teaching are things that I always wanted to tell my employees, but I never had the time or structure to provide that. And so, we're not only providing education that's good for the apprentice, but we're giving an opportunity for employers to go ahead and get that information to their employees, the apprentices, in a way that's structured, that is going to result in certification as they move through the different segments of the curriculum. And it's just, we've all been wanting it for a long time, Lauren. You're absolutely right. You see the need as an instructor. I see the need as a pool service person who employs technicians. And Jennifer's got an interesting background, not necessarily in the pool business, in terms of the apprenticeship program. But Jennifer, if you might want to tell folks why the apprenticeship thing appealed to you and why you were such a big catalyst for this.
Oh, sure. I would love to share. Yeah. Actually, what you were talking about, Dave, about giving the structured and organized education is so critical. And it was one of the first things that I recognized when I first came into the industry, was that there's a lot out there, but there's not a lot of structured so that, somebody can complete and actually become certified in a well-rounded way. In addition to that, I noticed there was really absolutely zero career path for anybody to come into the industry. And that was the big, excitement for me in working with Dave and Steve Homer and Javier Payan, was to develop a career path through apprenticeship. And I kind of have the people that know me probably have heard this story, but I have a personal passion about it because my father was an apprentice in the Carpenters Union. And I know we're not a union industry. This is not a union apprenticeship program, but it's still a very large apprenticeship program that's national. And my father went into the apprenticeship program as a 17-year-old young man. Was married at 18 and raised 4 children as a carpenter. And we lived a wonderful, happy life. And what I recognized when I first came into the business, actually was at a class, an NPC class with Greg Garrett, who, bless his heart, is no longer with us. I just sat in a group of a lot of young men, some women, a lot of men. So we'll encourage more women to get in the industry. But there was a lot of young men in that class, and it kind of warmed my heart because I could see that they were all young, just getting started, and they didn't really realize the importance of the education that they were getting until Greg was teaching the class. And after that class, several people had asked about, well, isn't there any kind of, apprenticeship in this industry? No, there was none. And so I was thrilled to be able to be a part of it because I have a history of it. I lived in a house of apprentices. My brothers were both apprentices and raised their family that way. And so I saw a need, and I was glad to be able to, use my skill sets, which is not pool industry, but business and my knowledge in the government world to assist and help with that. And I'm thrilled about it because the need is here. And it's been here a long, long time. So as a whole, I think that what we'll not only do is professionalize the industry, but more importantly, help sustain the industry because we will create a career path. And that's going to be our mission over the next several years, is to really market our industry to young men, women, and that's so that they can choose this industry. I would have never realized how fun it was and how great it is. And it's a secret, it's a hidden gem that we need to share the stories of. So I'm thrilled with you.
I totally agree with you. And the way I felt about how I've seen the education set up in this industry is one word I could use is it's fragmented. Mm-hmm. It's fragmented into pieces. And if you don't know about this class and this class and this class and this class, you miss out on some of those fragments that are really good, different pieces of education. So having an apprenticeship program where people know about all these fragments, you've put them together, it's organized, they're getting their hands-on training. And I'll also agree with you, Jennifer, that yes, when I came in the industry, either 17 years ago with the Department of Health down here as an inspector / 10 years of teaching certified pool operator courses, is yes, it is a gem. And there's so many people that don't realize that there's even a job in this industry, right. that it exists. When I go to my oldest daughter's charter school, and I go and I'm sitting at a table for like their career day thing. And they put me next to the chemistry table where it's the chemistry teacher and he's setting it up like they're going to go to college for chemistry to be a chemist. And then I look weird, but cool to the kids. And they come over and they go, your chemistry, but and I go, yes, but not college like chemistry.
Yeah.
This is pool
Real
chemistry.
life.
And then I show them the photometer, or I show them the, a pool manual pool test kit or something like that. And they're like, that's interesting. And they look at me like they're confused. And then I even had people from the, marine side, that there were kids over there that have a big marine program, and they test water. They just looking at different parameters, and they were really curious about like the parameters for the pool industry and water chemistry. So it is a little gem that if we even talk to, career days and went to high schools before they go, all the college stuff that they get, that's what they get. There's a lot of kids that would choose this as their path. Absolutely. If they knew about it, because it is a cool job. I agree with you, Jennifer. You're out in the field. You get to drive around. You get to talk to different customers and different people. That's how I was at the health department. I was like, I get to be out in the field. I'm not stuck in an office. That's a gem of a job to be able to do. And if it's professionalized and with an apprenticeship program, it just makes it so awesome. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think Hollywood has done much to help the pool industry be viewed as a career. And I've said this every time I have the opportunity to talk about it. This is not, it can be a job if that's all you want it for, but it is a career that you are only held back by how big you want to be, how small you want to be. But the amount of education that's out there, and as you said, that's fragmented, is huge. And there's no reason why you can't make a career out of this. Plenty of us out there are making a career of this. And, when you're trying to think, and I think there's been a paradigm shift, Lauren, in terms of going to college and going back to trade schools. It was all trade schools, then it went, you got to go to college. And whether you're a college type of person or not, and now back. And so I think it's great, because if we do have the paradigm shift back to a trade school, what do we have in the pool business? We have nothing until we have an apprenticeship program. And so now we have an apprenticeship program. So we have a viable vehicle, a viable path for someone to make this a career for them and actually learn. And the nice thing about our program, I'll tell you, is we have business. I was lucky enough to teach the business segment of our curriculum, which I love. I've been teaching for 35 years, not how to put a seal in a pump, but how to run a business. And it was so interesting to talk about business from both the employer's side and the employee's side, and have them start. You could see the wheels turning, like they probably do maybe in your class when they're starting to understand what's going on. But it was really nice to see they're starting to, wow, And so we just want to wow them. We want to show them this is an industry that you need to get involved in. And what an opportunity, since many of the folks in our industry are, we've been in it a long time, and we're looking to bring somebody alongside of us. I've always said that we could very well be training your exit strategy as we have these people in our class. And so it's important for the support of not just the apprentices learning, but also the employers and getting them on board. And they have been very, very good about that. And that's why we started it. We started it in California just because that's where, all of us are. And, if you know anything about California, if you can get a program through in California, the rest of it's downhill from there, because they're the worst, to try to get anything going. We're a very organized labor state, and this particular program is not one. It's not an organized labor kind of thing, but we're thrilled. It took us, how long did it take us, Jennifer? In my mind, it was forever. But
you know what? It's a long time. But the exciting thing is, it's the future is so bright.
Yeah.
It was a long process, but when you think about it, it was really, as my father says, because he's so excited. Even when any apprenticeship gets off the ground, it takes years, and sometimes almost a decade before it becomes viable. And what we have done in what seems like forever is really a very short period of time. And so 5 years from now, our industry is going to be impacted tremendously from what what we're doing right now, which is, better late than never, right? It should have happened a long time ago. But again, I think it was just industry that was hidden. It was just hidden. And you guys have all come together, and I'm so thrilled to be a part of it. But it's important to open up the floodgates and let everybody have the knowledge and understanding that they can choose a career in this industry. And our program, begins with service, which is critical in any industry. Without, you got the builders, you got this, but service is is always your foundation of any industry. It keeps it going. And so we were thrilled to start our apprenticeship program in the service industry because it's a very important segment of the industry that hasn't really received the recognition and attention and professionalism through standardizing things and providing education to our masses of folks that aren't getting it. So we have as I always say, those with the ability have the responsibility, and I'm glad that we have the leaders involved in this that are taking that responsibility.
This is our short intermission where I want to say thank you to our other podcast sponsor, Wave Drowning Detection Systems. Thank you so much for being a continued sponsor of the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. So let's listen in to what they have to offer to help prevent drowning as one of the layers of protection. And then we'll get back to the other half of our podcast episode about the Pool and Spa Apprenticeship Academy. Thank you so much, everyone.
You can't watch them every second. No matter how hard you try. Meet a better way to know your kids are safe. Introducing the Wave W10. Safer swimming starts here.
So give us a little bit of the history, because you said it was a long time, but just a little history how this apprenticeship program came to be and where I know it got nationally approved. So tell us a little bit about that and where you think it's going in the future, and if you have any details.
Jennifer, do you want to field that, or would you like me to? Well, historically speaking, just a real quick review for how we got from point A to point B. And if you know me, Lauren, I'm not very patient. So if it takes me over a week to do something, it's forever. So that's just kind of the way I operate. But, we saw a need. Really, Jennifer was the impetus to start looking at how to fill that need. We came together, and we were fortunate to have some really great help from the Department of Apprenticeship Standards, and also from the San Joaquin Office of Education advisors that we had. And we have built this entire program, Lauren, with a team that realistically is second to none. I always say we have nothing but A players. We have our director of education, A player, just A number one. Sylvia she's the best. Her education committee is the best. And all of us in our respective fields, there's no egos, there's no nothing. We just are focused on the goal, which was to get the program, started up and be ethical, be honest, be real. And I always say now, this is a program that was put together by service people for service people. Who knows better the curriculum that's needed and can field questions and can put together. Our curriculum and syllabus that we have was put together by us, service people. We know what we look for in employees. We know what they need to have, in terms of a skill set. And so when we put it together, when we approached those who are supplying some of the education, I got to say, we got no we got nothing but support, big time support, because like you and your area, Lauren, and the manufacturers and the retailers and NPC and all these people, they all recognize the need. They all are wanting to give. They need a vehicle, and now they have one. And they were so responsive. And so we got our program put together, and here we are. We've got our first group of students, not quite halfway through their syllabus, but we're excited. And it's really, again, the industry has been dying for it. We have provided it, and they have stepped up, and they're supporting it. I think I'll let Jennifer tell you about our national program a little bit, and maybe where we're going to go with that.
Thanks. I'd be happy to. So we got our national program approved at the end of May. I believe it was May 25th might be the exact date. But we were thrilled about that because what that does is it allows us to, take our program across the country so that all of our folks in the service industry can take advantage of. First of all, if they have current employees that they're wanting to professionalize and get certified so that they can market better and have educated employees, they can participate. And secondly, so that we can create a career path for each state. Now, we aren't going to go 100, unrealistically and open up the floodgates across the whole country because, again, as my father has explained to me, it takes years to do things well, and we have no intention to do things unwell. That's not a word. We have no intention to do things.
We know what you mean by it.
And so we will strategically, in order for the best interest of the industry, go out state by state. And so we are at this time, we are strategizing exactly how we will go, starting with the Sunbelt states because they have the greatest, pools need, like California, which is why we started in California. We had the leaders were here in California, and the pools were here in California. But we do have our program approved, and that was a big accomplishment, and it spoke volumes to the industry that the Department of Labor recognized that we had already established a program with California that was reputable. And they could see that it was working, and that we were launching it, and we were doing it well. And so we got our program approved through them at the end of May. So we will begin the outreach to other states. Anybody that's listening to this podcast and is interested in finding out how and when, I'm sure that Lauren will put our emails up or at the end of the podcast. But please feel welcome to reach out to us because we aren't going to wait very long. We are going to be opening up in each state, but we're going to do it with the support of the leaders in each state. Again, our committee, which consists of David Hawes and Javier Payan and Steve Homer, which again are leaders of the industry and different organizations, are going to help identify leaders in each state also to help us make sure that we are successful as we roll out into the other states. So without rattling too much, I'll say that this upcoming year we will be out there, and in the next month or two, you will see exactly which states that we'll be starting in. So if that's a good enough answer for you, yeah. Lauren, I would simply say that. We're already going to be enrolling folks into it in California because we're here, and that's starting now. And in our new our second class that's starting next month, we will have folks that are going to be both, and so the industry understands they can receive dual certification. So not only will you get certified by the state of California and be a journeyman. That's a key, nice word. I mean, it's a lot to be proud to be a journeyman of a trade. And so you'll be a journeyman with the state of California, also be a journeyman with the Department of Labor federally. So if for whatever reason, no employer wants to lose their employees, but Let's say a family, one of your great employees ends up having to relocate to another state because maybe her husband or her wife had to relocate. When they are certified with the Department of Labor as a service technician with the Pool and Spa Apprenticeship and Training Committee, they will receive a journeyman wage with the federal program of a minimum of $24.50. They will be able to go to any state and they will receive that dollar amount or more.
Wow.
So at any state, which is, again, it's taking us to another level of professionalism in our industry. And so we're going to have to get the backing, which is what we're getting from the manufacturers and yourself and everybody, that we need to start educating the consumer about how important and viable what service really is. It's a shock that, people don't really have any understanding of how important water quality and chemistry and just maintaining the integrity of your pool is, and just letting anybody do it that's not educated, or even a homeowner that thinks that they can, which we were guilty of being that homeowner that thought they can, and we destroyed our pool. So that is an exciting thing, and we want the industry to know. We want you to feel free to reach out and ask questions. If you want to be, hey, come to our state, we want to help. Please, send Dave an email and overwhelm him. No, send all of us an email.
Overwhelm him.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to tag on to what Jennifer said about the national program. We have been successful, I think, in California in part because we did take leaders in the service industry, and that is who has developed and built this program in California. And I believe that success will be mirrored in the national program by doing exactly that. We want to take leaders in areas and we want to bring them in and we want to use them and have them help us as we help them. And it's, as Jennifer said, we're not doing a shotgun blast from here to Maine with our program. We're going to be very diligent about making sure that the success that we've had so far is mirrored. And we're going to do that because we're going to do it the same way that we've done it in California here. So really excited, though. I'll tell you what, we were excited to be the first apprenticeship program, first and only in California. And we just tagged on to that to be the very first one nationally and to have a national program. And I'll tell you what, excited's not really the word. We were just thrilled beyond belief to be able to come to the industry with what we feel is a quality product and be able to, as Jennifer said, I'm a little selfish, to be honest with you. I have employees. In fact, one of mine is going through the next group of apprentices. But I want more people out there to come to work for me and everybody else, and not just come to work and have to, learn everything. I would love to. I'm going to be standing in line if there's apprentices that haven't made a commitment yet. I'll be right there, So we eventually, as Jennifer said, over the next 5 years, looking at the window and the crystal ball that we sort of have there, we're really looking for this to be a huge deal. And in terms of outreach, we want to be looking at, veterans, women, men, high schoolers, even college age that just say, hey, this might not be for me. So we're ready to bring them all in, and but in a very controlled environment, because I'm OCD. So
well, and they say that all good things happen with time.
Yes.
The longer you cook your stew, the better it is. I think that's what's going to be that's this. I'm going to remember this conversation, and
that's
right. What that's how I think of this right now. It's going to be a really good stew. Even, because it takes time to get there. Well, how does everybody get a hold of you if they're listening to this podcast episode and they're excited that eventually you might come to their state? Maybe they want to help you with it, or they are biting at the bit to have apprentices, some of their employees train as apprentices. How can they get a hold of you guys?
Well, I'll jump in there. They're welcome to email myself or Dave's welcome to give his email too. My email address is Jennifer with 2 N's at poolapprenticeship.com. You can send an email to me. You can also send an email to ATC at poolapprenticeship.com, which is short for Apprenticeship Training Committee.
They can also look at our website. If you go to the website, you'll be able to, if you want to crawl around there and just get a better idea, this may be the first time somebody's even been hearing about this, I hope not, but, they can go to the website and kind of check things out and see kind of the way the program is set up in terms of California. But I think our emails are on there too as well, aren't they, Jennifer?
They are. You're right. That's the best recommendation.
What is the website?
www.poolapprenticeship.com. www.poolapprenticeship.com. That's probably the best thing. Go there. Yeah. There's a lot of information on there. A lot of questions can be asked. If you want to send an email, there's links from there that you can send an email from there. Yeah. And please, if you are in a state that you have a massive need, we are, like I said, we are strategically going to move quickly. I'm not talking about next year. We're going to move quickly, but we're not just going to willy-nilly give out a week class and program for wherever we're going to go. It's going to be strategic, but we want you to reach out to us if you have a group of employers that you're working with, or you're a party to an IPSA chapter where you have a lot of need. Let us know so that we can strategically move to the right places with the greatest needs.
Awesome.
And you'll be able to have a great CPO course with Space Coast Pool School, operated by our host today, Lauren Broom, the best.
You know how I think of this podcast, right, guys?
Yeah.
This podcast is an extension of education. And for me, it's free education on all kinds of topics.
Yeah.
Equipment, whatever is available in the industry, because not everybody knows that something is there or something's available. You can't assume it. They might come across the podcast on YouTube when they're searching, so for me, it's like I have my certain curriculum that I teach, and then this is where I got my freedom.
Yeah.
To teach again, over here. And this has been wonderful, because this is teaching that there is a professional apprenticeship program for the industry. It's active, it's working, and they're going to be growing. And so I wanted the listeners to know that you're there. I know you guys have been in Pool Pro magazine. I think you were highlighted in there. Yep. I saw it at least twice.
Yeah.
Reading it, because I
got to get it out there any way that I can, Lauren.
Yep. I am a subscriber there, so I've seen it. So I'm sure some people know who you guys are, but this is for all those that don't. So thank you so much for being on my podcast. Do you have any final thoughts?
I really appreciate you inviting us, Lauren. You've been wonderful to work with. And I'll tell you what, to me, you're just part of the A team that we have for our apprentices. And I hope as we move forward that we can all grow together and teach a whole bunch of guys and girls about the pool industry and help them recognize what a great career it can be.
It is a great career path. And that's a big thing for people to know. Find that hidden gem, right, Jennifer?
Oh, it is a hidden gem. And I will, just on a closing note, I've had such great feedback from our current apprentices on the courses that they have already gone through. They absolutely loved your course. We actually even had one of the employers take your course, who is a long-time expert in the industry and a business owner. And he personally called me and said that was phenomenal. So we don't realize how good we are, Lauren. So we don't want anybody to miss the opportunity to not be going through it. Even those that are seasoned in the business, are a little bit blown away by what we've done and what you're doing with your online teaching with the CPO. We appreciate it. We know we demand a lot, and you deliver, and we appreciate that.
Thank you so much. You guys have been a pleasure to have on today and to work with. I'm glad to be part of the A team. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for diving in today with the Let's Talk About Pools podcast. Be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. And feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts so more aquatic professionals like you can learn about the show. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Let's Talk About Pools podcast.